Welcome to the video. Today we're going to be asking college students what they think about Elon Musk's Neuralink and whether or not they would get it installed in their brains, and if so, why. Please make sure to not like this video and to not subscribe to our channel. Excuse me. It's very unfortunate. What do you think about Elon Musk's Neuralink, and would you get it installed?
To be honest, I have not researched it very much.
So it's basically a chip that would be inserted in your skull. At first, they want to use it to help humans with any medical conditions they may have.
I would not have a chip installed in my brain.
You wouldn't? Why not?
I don't know. I don't like the idea of someone else having potential control of or visibility into that part of the core of my being. And if anything malfunctioned ever, that's more than just an oopsie.
Excuse me. Would you like to get interviewed?
I would love to get interviewed.
I've
been interviewed by you guys before.
Have you?
I have.
Do you guys know what Elon Musk's Neuralink is?
No.
No.
His chip that he wants to put in people's brains.
Oh, I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it.
Have you heard of it?
No. I literally have no idea.
I would consider getting it after a few years of people experimenting with it.
Yeah, I'd wait for a ton of people to do it first.
Would you like to be interviewed for our social media page?
Yeah.
Do you know what Elon Musk's Neuralink chip is?
No,
If it did come out, would you consider ever getting it?
not at all.
Why not?
That sounds really scary.
What if it was safe?
I wouldn't do that. Do they have to cut your head open?
Not cut it open, they would just kind of push it in there.
All right, it's me now. We're going into the trenches. Let's go. All right, we're gonna go bother this guy that's clearly trying to be by himself. All right. So, do you know about Elon Musk's Neuralink?
I haven't heard about it.
Okay, so basically, do you think there's a possibility of him being able to install software updates into your brain and essentially being able to control your thoughts and your actions?
I don't know. I don't think about that because that just feels like it's inhumane in a way. He's pretty much controlling what you think, and if he did it that way, I'll probably opt out or something.
All right, that's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much, man, for your
no
time.
problem.
All right, have yourself a great day.
All right, you too.
W-Mans. You guys know what Neuralink is?
No.
Yeah,
You know what Neuralink
yeah, I
is?
read about it.
Would you get it installed if you had the opportunity to?
Probably not, nah. But if you had something wrong with you, brain problems or something.
blindness.
Yeah, blind, certain things like that. If I had an issue like that, maybe I'd give it a shot.
But if you were healthy, it would be a no?
Yeah, if I was healthy. No.
Yeah. So would you ever get it installed if you had the opportunity?
No, that doesn't sound safe.
What, you don't like the idea of a chip being in your skull and software updates can be applied at any time?
No.
I can't believe that. It's such an L take. Actually, we're switching it up a little bit. We're gonna start asking people how they feel about the Balenciaga pet scandal and if they even know about it. Because a lot of people are clueless to stuff that really matters in this world, like mainstream corporations taking advantage of vulnerable children. So let's see what the public has to say about it. The bots are in full force, ladies and gentlemen. Do they know anything significant about anything? We're gonna find out though. Would you like to get interviewed? How do you feel about Balenciaga being pet?
I don't know anything about that.
Okay, so basically they did an advertising campaign where they had little girls and little boys and they're all holding teddy bears with sexual bondage on it. How do you feel about mainstream corporations promoting this type of imagery?
It's kind of disgusting. Definitely the higher end companies like Victoria's Secret and all of them do that.
Do you think they all engage in pet and exploiting little children?
For sure.
That's a base take. Thank you so much. W takes. So how do y'all feel about Balenciaga being pet?
I didn't know that was a thing.
I don't think it's cool.
Have you heard about the Balenciaga pet scandal?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so basically, how does that make you feel that something of this nature can not really get mainstream coverage for a long time?
It makes me a bit upset. It's sad. Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Everyone seems to know about Andrew Tate and Kim Kardashian, etc., like the back of their hand, but when it comes to pet, everyone is really in the dark. So, very interesting stuff. Excuse me, do y'all want to get interviewed? I'm gonna sit down right here.
Okay.
All right, how do you feel about Balenciaga being pet?
It's really sad.
So you've heard about that?
Yeah, I have. And that they have so many people that check through the ads. That had to go through so many people. So obviously they meant to do that. That's no slip up.
How do you feel about this kind of exposing of a company like this not being really pushed in the mainstream because no one really seems to know about it? Shouldn't this be a topic that's broadcasted in the spotlight for many weeks?
Yeah, 100%. I'm surprised nobody's known what you're talking about because I feel like a lot of people knew about that. That's crazy. I think they're done. Everyone's burning their shit. So.
How do you feel about Balenciaga being pet?
It's terrible. Everyone's doing something new. Don't agree with it, but, that's what people do, so.
The people just are pedophiles.
I mean, I don't think that people should be pedophiles, but,
Do you think something like this should be mainstream news to the point where everyone knows about it? Because we've interviewed a lot of people and most of them have no clue that this is even a thing. So shouldn't this be covered more in the mainstream?
I don't watch the news, period. So
I mean, neither do I. But do you think something like pedophilia should be covered more?
I mean, yeah, like problems, any issues should try and be covered. But I can't, like, I'm not the person to choose what gets covered more.
Okay, so what's your name?
Kai.
Have you heard about the Balenciaga pedophilia scandal?
Yeah, I heard about that.
All right, so how do you feel about a mainstream corporation like Balenciaga promoting this imagery?
I mean, honestly, well, where's the company based? That's the thing. Like, I don't really know what they do over in those countries. Like here,
It's definitely not allowed there.
Yeah, pedophilia is definitely not allowed anywhere.
It's a universal bad thing.
I mean, I agree. I don't think anybody should be doing that to children. Personally, I wonder what their parents were doing and why their parents let them do that.
Yeah,
like, their parents had to take them there and, like, I would hope be somewhere close. So I'm like, why would your parents let you do that? You walk in a room and you got like a 5-year-old and you see that, I would be like, all right, let's go.
All right, last question. How tall are you?
Thank you guys so much for watching the video, especially to those of you who got to the end of the video. We appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah, it's all love, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. And we're coming out with more bangers very soon, so stay posted. Let's go.